Welcome to Tidbit Talkin. This is a series that consists of spewing out assorted thoughts which arose from somebody who thinks too much, taking in, and generally loving various entertainment media by the boatload. These tidbits may be little theories, observations, or simply jokes. Please bear in mind that all these ideas come from the perspective of somebody who's experienced every main story bit connected with whatever is currently being gone over. So spoilers will be here. However, other works set in a shared continuity will typically solely be referenced in a way that only makes sense to anybody who's also fully experienced those ones up until their same time occurring points. Sort of a coded nod kind of deal. Now, with all of that out of the way, here we go. The barren beginning with regards to power-ups, that is, being completely unarmed, aside from normal beams, unlike Metroid 2's sorta equipped situation, could very well be because Samus let that hatchling feed on her for sustenance. All these deep, beyond old Torian segments of Zebes must have been the training/testing grounds for Chozo warriors and their fancy new suit tech. Mother Brain keeps them intact, equipment included, after remodeling the place because she wants to study how Samus uses said stuff, so a way they can be adapted for more piratey folks winds up being found. Related, Ridley most likely was forbidden from killing the famous bounty hunter at Zero Station, so all that crazy armament assessment could occur. That freaky flesh-formed footage fabricator found near the Morphball is there to determine how Miss Erin reacts whenever she discovers a new doodad. In this specific instance, the entrance she took gets cut off in order to get info on how navigation occurs whenever backtracking isn't possible. Those kooky, basic Zebesian space pirates and other low-tier enemies get unleashed after some missile-grabbing action because Mother Brain wishes to find out whether her newest batch of minimum-strength troops are now on a lesser but not completely unarmed hero-slaying level. As another absolute assumption, animated ancestral armories are around to test how Chozo warriors have developed combat-wise since leaving the supposed war preparation area. Ancient feathery people left certain power-ups out all obvious-like for the sake of making sure no in-training battle birds were currently suffering from blindness or other more extreme adaptation warranting physical differences. New Torian's entrance-exit locking briefly may very well be the result of some incomplete trap installed in there that was supposed to explode whenever all four fully fierce fiends faced fatalities. Most other doors winding up all jammed until enemies get cleared out might be caused by a safety precaution for Mother Brain meant to contain viruses of both the organic and computer varieties. After all, the universe's most famous bounty hunter getting wiped out by simple crabby mooks must mean there's something truly wrong with her. Health power-ups would be more plentiful now because newer enemies were manufactured/bred with greater vitality potential to help better feed the upcoming clone Metroid army. Health energy recharging stations were kept intact, so extra data on how Samus's weapons and other suit functions are performing can get procured for mass pirate survival ensuring safe. Spore spawn study might have occurred during an experiment at growing a body for Mother Brain. Those wild and crazy destroyable picture blocks are most likely how Samus's latest suit's visual processes comprehend materials/ores that can be destroyed by particular weaponry. All these normally one-way shutters were probably put in place so that Metroid clone army could go nuts feeding-wise when necessary. The galactically renowned Noob Bridge would be foreseen if novice feathered soldiers are healthy enough to grab a certain speed-boosting deal. Kraid must have been fairly feeble here because he hasn't been permitted to eat since Samus was spied by those eye camera thingies. Apparently, intruders mean no distractions permitted, no matter the space pirate rank 1 holds. The room with both flying convenient conveyor creatures and spiky death traps must have originally been a supply manufacturing station before Ridley converted it into some sort of sadism-satisfying torture chamber. Power bombs aren't covered in a glowy protective shell, so folks finding them immediately realize they are highly volatile weaponry and thus shouldn't be shot at all willy-nilly or what have you. Speed Booster default description data dumps don't detail how shine sparking works because the feature wasn't originally intended during said super sprint supplying stuff structuring situation. After all, why would air travel capable individuals need to worry about such a tricky way of sky moving? On that note, space jumps would have initially been designed just as confusing evasive maneuvers and complements to screwy attacks. It's likely that Crocomeyer's not a space pirate at all, but rather just some native subterranean creature who likes tunnel-sized areas. The poor thing may have wound up so feeble because Ridley decided to snack on something arrogant enough to be so confidently prancing around what he considers his territory. These areas that are always accessible in the wrecked ship are likely vital ones like med bays and food storage. Van Toon is hanging out there because he's trying to feed on that lovely reserve power they are relying upon. Those delightful walking robots, who seem to have storage compartments on their torsos, must have been for transporting materials that the more fleshy and presumably bird-like working ship inhabiting researchers couldn't touch. Mock droids would have initially been created in Meridia, so certain real-deal production-interested sinister scientists could figure out how floaty movement mechanics work without gravity becoming too problematic. Somewhat related, a certain pleasantly purple protective piece provides safe lava travel because its persistent pull patching properties produce side effects that enable defense against stuff that's connected to those wacky planet cores and whatnot, which are normally found at such forcey field centers. Those extra freaky space pirates who are immune to anything but specific nearby powerful weaponry reach their bizarrely strong bodily states by means of Mother Brain messing with energy signature deals emitting from said threat elimination focused hoopla. Kinda connected, those sinful space swashbucklers, sometimes sporting supreme solidity, seem like they are the result of Chozo Battle Gear Replication-centered experimentation. Ridley's relatively rocky battle performance this time around may be the result of holding back due to Metroid hatchling damage-related fear for first battles and getting fed on by said small super sorta soldier after a canister bursting occurred shortly before second ones. More acid is present in New Torian compared to its original counterpart because battle data Mother Brain collected about Samus's first game invasion determined that not even Varia surpassing suits could withstand it. Also, it's strategically placed so folks evading Metroids wind up all soaked, suffering, straddled. Most of the ultimate weapon kinda enemies that were developed after obtaining certain aforementioned warrior info, like the seemingly invincible blue fellows, would have been fed to that hatchling who wound up all super. These halls, said overachieving life force sucker Rome, seem to resemble the Queen's Lair from Metroid 2. Perhaps maternal gray matter and her crazy space pirate companions were trying to make the hatchling grow up to be all naturally royal so they could get some more conventional killer species birthing and metamorphing going on in their base. Anyway, the Super Metroid Samus recognition only occurring when said warrior woman gets relatively weak is probably because reaching such a sorta sorry state involved passing power levels which more closely resembled her end of second adventure hatchling meeting held ones. Big Bossy Brains battle bod may have very well been created based on Queen DNA found in that precious little life leech. On that note, perhaps the reason Squishy Samus Jr. grew gigantic rather than transforming into a traditional regal form is because such changes require regularly receiving regurgitated vital energies from the current/past queen. Like some kind of situation where mother's milk has a special property, but it's stolen key or whatever instead. Those light blue rings, which cruelly slay the Super Metroid, might be a copy of Samus's beam stacking abilities that are at least equipped with fake, but also enhanced ice and plasma deals. Hence the membrane-penetrating vulnerability exploiting situation that's apparently going on. That tragic toughness transfer, which grants Samus with hyper beam-related might, just may have been caused by the poor thing instinctively carrying out a process similar to what was just being talked about with regards to special trait involving queen originating food distributing. This new Torian seems easier to escape, at least when it comes to more effortlessly stood upon platform availability. Perhaps Mother Brain wanted to ensure that the present space pirates could get out and make new bodies for her, unlike what happened with those old base designing Metroid 1 predating Chozo and their traitor annihilating intentions. Finally, the whole planet must have been rigged to explode because those vile cosmic buccaneers assumed only an out-of-control, fully grown Metroid-filled scenario could result in powered-up Smarty Matriarch getting slain. Also, maybe the whole of original recipe Torian got converted into a bomb that would do said deed, which caused this weird sort of glow seen on Samus's way out. Endings are a pain, but all of you are fantastic. See ya.